Welcome, everyone, to the Horrorcast, episode 38. I am your host, Matrix Star 2 and 2, and I am with Steampunk Mon.
Steampunk Star Raised of AmberStreet.com.
Yes. What's up, Gloria?
Top of the morning to you.
What's up, Roddy Piper?
Is that Ray Charles we got here?
Hey, everybody!
What's up, Mike T?
You're all doomed. Doomed, I tell you. You're all doomed.
Okay, Michael. Now, we got some stories for the Horrorcast, and here we go.
That was a Walt Gorney Friday the 13th reference, since you had a marathon this weekend. Remember Crazy Ralph?
Yes.
You're all doomed?
Yes.
Okay.
You're all doomed. Doomed. Yes, I know.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
Thank you. Jessica Lange is finished with American Horror Story.
Oh!
Basically, they asked her. She says, yes, I'm done. We've had a great run here. I mean, I absolutely love doing these four characters. And in all the madness, I love the writers and Ryan and the insanity. I'm shooting it, but she's done. She will not join American Horror Story for Season 5. Called American Horror Story Hotel. They do have Lady Gaga is going to be part of that. There's also going to be some people returning from previous seasons. The only thing that I can guess what the hotel is possibly a haunted hotel, maybe. I don't know. Something to do along the lines of The Shining or something like that, maybe.
Well, maybe they would... Maybe they'll do something like the Roosevelt Hotel in L.A. that's got like a sordid history. Like something like that would be cool, actually.
Yeah. John?
I just wanted to comment on the departure of Jessica Lange.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was so hot in 1977 with the King Kong. That's all I have to say.
She didn't die, though. She left American Horror Story.
Oh, she left?
She didn't die,
okay.
no. No, she did not.
Super hot, Jack Nicholson.
She did not depart.
She was hot. She was hot in the 70s King Kong. I really liked her in that.
Oh, man.
She actually was great in Tootsie with Dustin Hoffman. Great film. Very funny. Good drama.
Oh, yeah.
It's a really good movie. Tootsie is.
Right.
Great.
Okay. On to the American Horror Story topic. Anything, John? Do you want to add to that?
No.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
The only one of the shows I watch is the Preacher.
And how was that? Not your cup of tea, really. I
I've
guess.
watched all of them.
All right.
No, I watch it. It's like, you know.
I didn't get
I like
into
the actress
Preacher.
who plays the two-headed, the two-headed
Right.
twins. I mean twins.
I have to go and watch
like
the
that.
show because I haven't gotten into that season. I liked every season. Before that, obviously, Asylum, all of them actually. So, all right. Next article, we have my favorite subject, which where is it? Roxanne, if I could reach it. Oh, okay.
Uh-oh. What do we got?
Oh man.
Oh.
This is my favorite, Jason Voorhees. Me and Sharon had a freaking marathon since Friday the 13th into Sunday. We stopped at number 7. But what memories, man. I love those movies.
Which movie did Sharon like the most?
See, she liked 1 and 2. But as it went on, she thought it kind of got, like, stupid. Especially with the Psychic Powers one in episode 7. She liked 5, actually. I hated 5.
Oh, yeah, 5.
I hated 5 and 9, which is Jason Goes to Hell.
I hated all the Jason movies except for 1.
Wow.
Except for not the first one. The only one I loved was Jason X. That is a classic sci-fi super thriller drama.
Classic.
Hilarious. It was the best comedy
talking about,
I'd
Chris?
seen in a long time. Best comedy I'd seen in a long time. It was so terrible, it was hilarious, and I love the
What?
movie for that. It's so terrible that it's good. Jason X.
And Stephen Moffat
So
took the
terrible
nanogenes from Jason X, by the way. But anyway,
Well, the thing, if I may say something about Friday the 13th, I'm a long-standing horror film fan, and I tend to not like when Friday the 13th got grabbed by New Line Cinema.
yeah, I hated it.
I like the Paramount releases.
Yes.
And my favorites, a lot of people, I shouldn't say a lot of people, but I've seen some people that actually took some hits on Part 2. But Part 2 is actually like one of my top 2 favorites of the series. I like 2 and 4. Those are like really my 2 favorites. And
4
3
and
is okay.
6 are my favorites. Up
And
next
6
to
is
one.
good, yeah. 6 was shot actually in Georgia, a couple of hours from where I live. And
Of
at
course,
the
you
time-
can't.
go ahead.
No, you can't beat the original, which
And
Betsy
1's
Palmer,
great, yeah.
Well, they did beat in my opinion, they did beat the original, and that was in Jason X. It's an
No.
all-time horror
No,
comedy.
Jason,
God.
all kidding aside, Chris, Jason X really sucks. I mean, any fan of
Right.
Friday
Well,
the 13th
it
horror,
was so bad though. It
absolutely-
was funny. That's why I love it. I laughed.
but
The first time
but
I
if
saw
you're
that
not
movie,
supposed to
I
laugh.
laughed so hard. I know, but that was what made it so funny. Is you were supposed to laugh, but it was
Okay.
funny.
But for
It had
me,
a lot of cheesy
what
one-liners.
really did it for me was the final chapter, because I thought that was phenomenal. I couldn't stand 5 because I am not a fan when they have a movie without the main character. Okay, they had the EMT take over and copycat Jason, and to me it doesn't count at all, because what
They
happened was
they didn't really know what to do at that point in the series with Jason, like having been killed in the final chapter. And
who you
and
saw.
I was just gonna like elaborate on the final chapter. It was really great to see. I think all of that was the peak of the whole franchise. I believe was part
yeah.
of the final chapter, because you had Tom Savini returning to basically kill his creation of Jason, makeup effects artist, maestro extraordinaire,
Right.
legend icon Tom Savini.
Which I met him, by the way.
And he's one of the few people I haven't met, and I would love to meet Savini. But when I was a kid, I used to watch the Fangoria magazine had a video release called Scream Greats, and it actually documented Tom Savini. It was about an hour and a half, and it went through his whole like repertoire of like his work he's done with films. And they really showed some great stuff from that Friday the 13th, the final chapter, and he actually showed a lot of the stuff with the trick of when the machete goes into Jason's head and he falls down and collapses.
Flies in the blade. Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
And there was a lot of really great stuff in that. Crispin Glover was actually
Yes.
quirky enough to be humorous without taking away from the film.
Well,
There was
that's
some great
me and Sharon will go over, before I go into the topic of the actors. My biggest thing was that when they had 5, and I was seeing these movies in the theater as it was happening, the original plan, I believe, was when they said a new beginning, they had the assumption that Tommy Jarvis would go crazy and kill, which nobody wanted. Okay, at the end of the movie, he's got the hockey mask on, he's got the knife, like he's going to kill the girl in the hospital, and nobody wanted that. Fans had an uproar on it, and guess what? Jason was brought back, Tommy remained the hero, and 6, Jason Lives was freaking phenomenal.
Oh,
It's kind of like that
Well, the-
stupid. It's kind of like that stupid Indian Halloween where they have Jamie with the clown outfit and the mask on, like
Yes,
she's
on
going
the
to take
end
it
of
over for
4.
Michael Myers. Yeah.
yeah.
Right. Which I like that scene.
Well,
No! Yeah, he's like screaming Loomis.
The one good thing about the Friday the 13th series was the TNA varied, but most of the time the TNA was a really good part. It was really up there with like
Well, the kills were the styles of the killing was interesting too, but I mean we know the story really wasn't there with certain things. And then for me, I'm a Paramount Friday the 13th fan.
Yep.
And yes, we always envisioned having Freddy Krueger fight Jason, but when
What did
they
you think
took
about that
over-
film?
Well, let me just go in order because I don't want to go off topic. So when they did Jason Goes to Hell.
Oh,
I hated it because, one, you're not supposed to say how he comes back, and that never happened. He's not, this is where it totally made sense. The whole thing with the souls, that was Freddy Krueger's MO.
Well, in the future he's a cyborg.
No,
and
but
he
that has
crashed-
nothing to do with the souls.
we haven't gotten to that
Hold
point.
on.
Oh, okay.
So the souls and everything, and then the whole fact that by a Voorhees he was born, by Voorhees has died with an ancient blade from the 1800s that made no effing sense whatsoever, with a bounty hunter that's supposed to be like Boba Fett but not quite, just regular guy with a hat, a cowboy hat, and that he never had a sister, by the way, okay? He was an only child. So Erin Gray, I guess, was his sister or something, which was ridiculous.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
No, that was Wilma from Buck Rogers. I don't know what they were thinking.
Yeah, so, and then he inherited a body, but he was like a snake-like creature. He was like, that was terrible. And then Freddy pulling his mask down was ridiculous. But then, this is where it happens and it gets really weird. Then they say, well, it kind of makes no sense with Jason X, because he's just there. Like, he's just in the future of Crystal Lake with force fields, which they don't exactly say what year, and the government has.
Well, I think it's good. It's vague. It's purposely vague because, the best science fictions are the ones that are purposely vague or they become dated really quickly. Like 2001: A Space Odyssey, why it is an excellent movie.
But it's not science fiction, though. It's horror. You totally changed the dynamic of.
Well, it's horror, science fiction, comedy. It's
they
a classic.
Invented,
I gotta tell you, Jason X did not respect. Jason X did not respect the series, and I'm not making a joke of that. It really does.
That's why I loved it so much.
See, it was. I thought it was cool, but at the same time, I'm killing myself because I'm like, they've ruined it. Okay?
No, it really is. It's really not. It's
it's a mess.
Jason X is kind of like. It's like liking Austin Powers if you're a big James Bond fan. It's kind of like
not really, because I like that.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying there's a problem, but I'm saying it really doesn't fit in with the rest of the series. Because I mean, that's not. It's like, hey, let's take Jason and put him in Candyland. You know, I mean,
what's worse is at the end where they're on Earth 2, which is like 80s Crystal Lake again.
Yeah.
And he lands, which makes no sense.
They could have made that film a lot better, but I think that it's a certain point they kind of took it like in a direction, because I thought it was cool that they had David Cronenberg, the famous horror director, at the beginning of that, when they had Jason like bound up before he escaped and all that. And I liked some of the ideas about the whole the holographic sort of thing, where Jason's confused and he's seeing like these old.
That was pretty cool.
That was neat. But they really, it was just like a hodgepodge of like crap with like some good ideas that weren't really well executed.
Right. See,
but it really doesn't fit in. It doesn't fit in with the franchise, though. It's really like it just. Right.
So what's the word on the street?
The word on the street should be that they continue from Jason Takes Manhattan, and they explain away that whole situation.
I heard they're going to do a reboot of it.
Yeah, it is, but they shouldn't do that. They should, being that Paramount Pictures has it for a couple of years, they should pop a sneak whatever like they used to, and it should continue. From Jason.
Hollywood. They have Hollywood. They have a 3-year short-term memory problem, and if it hasn't been popular in 3 years, they immediately want to reboot it because they just see instant cash. People are not going to know any better because they've never, most people have probably never seen it before.
Okay. Gloria.
Yeah.
Take care, Gloria.
Take care, Gloria. Take care. We'll talk to you later.
Take care.
Have a good night.
Okay.
All right. Good night, Gloria. For me,
what did you?
I want it continued from Manhattan. Okay, I believe that those people had drugs and they thought they saw him become a child in toxic ways, but that's not exactly what happened. And
I want to continue from Jason X. I want to see what happens when he lands on Earth 2.
You can't continue from Jason X because, look, the whole thing is that
You can
I
do
mean,
a
you could
Doctor
al-
Who tie-in.
You could always have
I
him go
got a
back in
question
time.
for you
and
guys.
Jason
I got a
was Jason.
question. Joe, Mike, I got a question. Speaking of, who's your favorite Jason, the actor? You know?
Kane Hodder.
Kane Hodder is like, he's like Jason. He's like Jason with bronchial problems. He's always heaving all the time.
But
He's
I mean,
heaving.
I liked the one from the fourth one.
Ted White, yeah, from Fourth. He's the best, in my humble opinion. Ted White, man. Just a pissed off, like, little gnome evil demon just throwing the hammer. Oh, man. Ted White.
Yeah, man. Well, now this brings about the new article that's hit the word on the street. In case you didn't know,
Well, we're still talking about Friday, right?
yes,
Okay.
Friday the 13th is the series.
Because
which
I
is-
had some more questions I
Yes.
wanted to talk about.
Friday the 13th, the series with Jason is going to be headed supposedly to the CW. Okay. Now, in case you didn't know, originally when Supernatural started, the plan was for Jason Voorhees to appear right away to basically promote Supernatural, where they would interact with Jason Voorhees. And at the time, Warner Brothers, who owned New Line, was going to do it, but then somewhere along the lines, Paramount Pictures has some semblance of rights. So that did not happen. But it turns out that now it looks like it may be headed to the CW, which is under Paramount Pictures' control, thanks to Christopher Nolan. And we may have a crossover again, like it should have been with Supernatural and all, whatever. So, but they're also doing movies besides the series. The series is basically going to continue from the Paramount Pictures, I believe, franchise, where you could have Corey Feldman show up as Tommy Jarvis taking on Jason, or whoever else survived.
Why not?
And don't forget, there was the one Friday the 13th, which is the second one, where half the counselors left
Yeah.
They
to
did.
go drink, and they never came back because
Yeah.
Jason
That
killed
was a
them.
cool. It was
Since
also
Jason is-
cool,
since
too, when
Jason's
Jason
been-
also screws up in one. He's like this guy with the sackcloth, like in Town That Dreads Sundown, jumping. And there's that one gag. Remember when he's trying to stab that woman who goes over across the bed, and he stumbles off his chair. Remember that?
Yeah, he
It's like
fell on the chair. Yeah,
he fell off the chair.
that was
He can't
great.
even execute a good kill at that point.
Well, he was learning.
He was.
He learned a lot. Go ahead, Chris.
Since Jason is a zombie, maybe they can do a crossover.
He's
with
not a
Rocky.
zombie, though.
He became a zombie.
Zombies-
He's
No,
definitely-
but zombies
he's definitely
don't think
dead.
for themselves.
He's all rotten. Like there was, I
No,
can't
but
remember what
zombies
movie.
eat people. You don't eat people.
He's a zombie.
You
He's
don't
living-
know. He could eat them. He could eat them off camera.
That's not.
Yeah, what is he-
This is not. Jason does not eat people.
How do you know? He
But
could have done it off
I
camera.
know.
But technically, a zombie actually, to be like concise, a zombie is not like necessarily having to eat flesh. It's just
Yeah,
but
it's
he's
a
not-
reanimated corpse.
But he's not a zombie, though.
He looks like one. There was. I can't remember which one. I saw several Jason movies, but I'm not a big fan of it, so I don't remember the numbers.
Obviously,
there was,
not
like,
if you like
one
that
where-
shitty Jason X.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there was one where he took his mask off and he was like all covered in maggots. He obviously looked like a zombie to me.
You're talking about Seven? Where
Yeah, I
it's
think
like
it was
all,
seven.
it was like an alien.
He's all like animated.
Which I find interesting, being that his eye should not be working in that spot. If you look at what was it, the fourth one, John? Like it's supposed to be like this eye is supposed to be covered, and they reversed it or something like that.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you're going to go down that road, technically, like in Halloween 2, Loomis blows out Michael Myers' eyes, with a
Wow.
pistol, and he
Wow.
comes back, like in Halloween 4.
Right. But then they lived from the explosion in 4. Right, well,
I think he's a zombie.
not a zombie.
Well, in part
What is
6,
it?
in part 6, he was reanimated,
Well,
he was buried, he was
I'll tell-
brought in
yes.
corpse.
And the electricity the lightning that never strikes twice did and energized him to super strength more than what he ever had before.
So he could kill Horshack.
Yeah.
From Welcome Back, Kotter. Yeah.
Well, he was,
Horshack.
Tom
Ron,
Matthews.
Ron Palillo.
Ron Palillo.
Yeah.
Right.
And that was part 6 was really good, actually. That was quite a fun one. I like the people in the RV. And Jason flips that RV and
He just
gets
jumps
up
out.
and it comes out the top. Yeah. That was
Great.
great. That campground actually from part 6 still exists. And
Wow.
I saw some footage on YouTube where some people went down there and shot some stuff.
I don't understand why we never seen Jason fight anybody in the snow or any type of weather condition where. I mean, we need to see Jason fight people with cell phones because cell phones weren't invented when they were doing
summer
virtual
camp.
movies.
You always
I can
change them
explain
summer.
why, because he really is a zombie, and if he were to fight in the snow, he'd be frozen.
He takes off.
Just let it go. Let it go, Rob.
I don't
Right?
will. I'm just teasing. I'm teasing.
Yeah. He's not a
So
zombie.
are you hinting that you would like to see Jason like in a snowy sort of setting?
Well, I mean, the area that they come from, right? It's not necessarily warm all year round, right? I mean,
Yeah, that's right. Well, I can tell
he's
you, like,
close to New York City, so I mean,
it's funny you mentioned that because there is a film that's called Mad Man, and it came out like in the early '80s. It's like a slasher film with a character that's a bit like Jason. If you haven't seen Mad Man, it's really, really good. And it takes place like within the same area up in upstate New York. And if I'm not mistaken, there's kind of like some snowy type stuff up there in that film, and they're around a campfire and all that. Are you familiar with that film, Joe?
I'm not familiar with the film, but I know what the weather patterns it should
Well,
be.
I'm going to send you my DVD of Madman. Watch that.
Okay.
I think you'll. It's if you like Friday the 13th, and John could probably back me up on this. He's seen Madman. It's a lost gem of like an early 80s slasher film, and it's got every bit the atmosphere of Friday the 13th, and it's very well shot. And the killer is like a Jason type character. He's like an urban legend sort of character, and it's very similar to Friday the 13th, and it's a great film.
Well, and here is the thing that we get to the part, not the CW series, but
And he's not a zombie.
we get to the part where how does Jason come back to life? That's going to be explained in the reboot. Okay? Supposedly there's some type of witchcraft, weird thing going on with the mother. We're going to see some flashbacks in the TV series. But you know what I wanted to touch on, Mike, that I don't think anybody really touched on?
Can I say something real quick about what you just said, though, before we forget about... I would like this to be really good, and I'm really hoping it is. But when you say CW, I'm expecting it's going to suck. Because...
Yeah, Jason's going to be like some tween, and he's going to be like this weepy, the kid gets picked on.
No. This is...
They're going to take it back.
You know what I would do if I had
it back.
if I had a
don't take the nut.
If I had
This
a
is
chance to direct, if I had a chance to direct another movie again, I would do this just to be silly, and in the spirit of Jason X.
Well, we're talking about the CW right now, Chris.
The
Let's talk about
CW is Jason Voorhees.
What is CW?
Listen to me.
What's CW?
Just listen to me 1 second. That's Channel 11.
Oh,
Okay. It's going to be Jason Voorhees in Crystal Lake killing people. It's not going to be the teenage years, which he never was a teenager when he died. He was a child. So it's not going to be him dating anybody. It's not going to be Norman Bates type Bates Motel. He's going to be Jason killing people in Crystal Lake, and it's going to have the survivors between 1 and 8 having their family members coming after him.
I hope it's good. I've seen the advertisement for iZombie, and it looks like shit.
Yes.
It looks like some Buffy the Vampire Slayer lower level Buffy crap.
Correct.
I hope I will watch this Jason series,
Okay.
and I'm hoping that it'll be good. I really am, because I would love to see it. I hope it's like The Walking Dead, where it really surprises you, and you're like, wow, this is compelling television.
Now, I think you and I, Mike, and John, and Chris, we should all really discuss the backstory of Jason, because we're always concentrated on the mother. But there's been some things going on in the Friday the 13th movies we've overlooked. That somebody's been helping Jason a little bit here and there. Okay? There was a statement. Yeah, there was a statement that was made by the mayor, I believe, or somebody in Friday the 13th. Which one was it? 5. That said that Jason was cremated. That's the record that they have. That is not what happened. He never was cremated, but somebody lied. Somebody buried him. Somebody put his name on a tombstone. Where is his father? Okay. Where is his father? Is his father a senator? Is his father rich? Did he divorce his mother? Did he kind of like, lie saying he was burned, but then really buried his son? I mean, who is the family member that's taken the time out to make a headstone of Pamela Voorhees?
Here we go. We can start here, okay? Jason, he's a tragic character. If you go by starting with the first film, Jason was a underdeveloped, I guess you could say, young child.
Right.
If there was someone of prominence in that town, like i.e. a politician, what have you, and he, actually was the father, and the mother was Betsy Palmer's character from the first film, then you could see how maybe they were afraid that there would be some sort of stigma to their political aspirations, right, with having this child that is like, underdeveloped. Yeah. Or he could have had an affair with somebody, with Pamela Voorhees, and
right,
like whatever happened, so.
But then again, he lied and made it that Jason was cremated, and he wasn't. Somebody built that house for Jason in the second one, like a little thing just to have, And there was also, I honestly believe that there's somebody in the background we don't see that just, I don't think Jason would kill at all, honestly.
Now, is that where they're going to be going with this series?
I'm from watching, a video binge, I'm just saying, well, we've seen Pamela Voorhees' grave, we've seen Jason's grave. Who the hell was spending the money for that, and who's doing that?
The cult, the same guys with the boots that helped Michael Myers in 4 and 5. See, crossover.
Yeah.
Crisscross.
I see what you did.
I have a theory. I think
Does this involve the Cybermen in any way before you say it?
Oh, no. It doesn't involve the Cybermen. It involves Bubbles the chimpanzee. He's been well-trained by Michael Jackson before Michael Jackson's death. And he's still around. And he's been trained to help out Jason behind the scenes.
Crack is whack.
And he's got power of attorney.
Crack is whack.
Yeah,
we don't control.
It's cookie for Johnny Depp one.
Yeah,
I didn't hear that story.
He's got a connection with the North Pole, Santa Claus, and he's got the magic jingle bell.
Guys, St. Patty's Day basically now, so please excuse Chris is.
Please excuse the madness.
Yeah. So basically.
What were you saying?
Can you tell I'm not a
Yeah, we can tell you're not. We can tell you're not a fan of Friday the 13th because you like that shitty Jason X. Yes, you can. You're screamingly obvious that you're not a fan of Friday the 13th because you like Jason X, Chris. We get it. All right.
Which to counteract that one, okay, for all the people that are like technical about everything has to fit together, I would have that Jason go back in time and to the Friday the 13th timeline to prevent him from going to the future in the first place.
No. Well, it's kind of like the Bond. It's kind of
two Jasons fighting each other. No, anyway, I was joking, by the way.
Yes, it's kind of like the Bond franchise. Some of the films exist in their own timeline.
He still hasn't seen his last day yet. He's still alive. Anyway, that's all I have to say about Bubbles.
Okay. Mike,
do
what you did, Chris. I think
Beyond
your
words.
I'm good at
freaking
that.
goggles
I'm
on
good,
your
I'm
head
good at
are
mental
so
confusion.
freaking tight.
I'm a master of chaos.
Right? So you need to let your ears breathe sometimes. Even I, Matrix Lord 212, takes the headphones off sometimes. Okay? So,
Well, I'm in a public place. I'm doing it to filter out background noise.
gotcha. All right. But we are going to find out some family members in flashback scenes on the CW, possibly Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
We're going to have a reboot, which I'm not really a fan of, reboots for the Friday the 13th movie. I just want it to continue. Why can't we have it continue from 8?
Because
I want to see people with cell phones fighting Jason because cell phones weren't invented when there was Jason movies. I want to see people taking karate classes that the whole town is aware of Jason and just want to kick his ass and everybody lines up to go after him.
That's
What?
a bad idea. That's a bad idea.
Well, I'm not talking about Jason Goes to Hell.
Wait. No, I'm not talking either. I've got 3 words for you. Halloween, Busta Rhymes.
Well, okay, but still, you got to have some gun-ho schmuck that will want to take down Jason Voorhees and get his ass kicked.
Yeah.
They're all a bunch of dicks over there, half of them. So you're bound to have somebody in the woods looking to like take out Jason and get his ass.
I'd like to actually have a conversation about like what everyone thought of the latest Friday the 13th film, the reboot that happened in 2009.
I'm not happy about that. First of all, what was that necklace crap with the freaking... Man, that's just... They wouldn't kill her if she had the necklace on or something. What is that crap? Is that like something similar to with the mother's head and stuff? I mean, I don't understand.
I didn't see the 2009 reboot. What do you mean necklace?
I didn't think that film was that bad. I had a little bit of an issue with the fact that like Jason was like this like underground like cavern dweller, but it made sense how he could pop up all sorts of places ahead of people because like the guy like lumbered when people he was chasing were hauling ass.
He ran after them. That was
Wait,
cool.
in the 2009, because I haven't seen it.
Right.
The necklace did she use that to control Jason?
That was some weird crap with that going on. Remember that?
Well, no, I'm just asking. I'm just asking a straightforward.
I forgot what the hell the necklace was, anyways. What I mean,
She
like
couldn't get killed with it on.
We're talking about the same film.
Yeah.
So
John,
she had the necklace.
like,
she had the necklace. She couldn't get killed by Jason. Right?
Basically.
Okay, you know what that sounds like? It sounds like classic zombies. There's 2 versions of.
It's kind of
no,
like...
he's not a zombie
Yeah.
in the remake.
Well, like voodoo zombies. Voodoo zombies.
God.
So John,
I
what,
saw the reboot and went in 1 year and went out.
serious.
Really, just not memorable. You know?
I'm not being serious.
2009?
Like, the original-
Dude, like that's not even part of the context, zombies.
I didn't think
Okay.
that I didn't think the film was like incredibly great, but I'm saying it was actually like I thought it was like entertaining when I was watching it. I thought it was
I
decent.
agree, Mike. Yeah.
Certain things are cool of it, certain aspects.
I mean,
and
it
saw
didn't
they had to
fucking
reboot.
look like Jason
Can I,
X.
Well,
can I
that's
finish my voodoo?
Yeah.
Can I finish my voodoo context without anybody getting pissy? Because I think it's interesting.
And we
the original
probably won't, but go ahead.
Oh, okay. Well, the original zombies were different than the current zombies. The original zombies mythology was voodoo, and you usually had like an amulet that would control the dead. The
White
amulet
He's
would.
not, he's not a zombie.
Well, I mean,
Bela Lugosi.
not the woman.
1930s.
But nobody controls Jason. Not even Freddy Krueger. Not anybody in hell. Nobody controls.
So
Jason.
when she had the necklace or amulet on, she didn't control Jason.
But Mother does.
Okay.
What they did was, you know, in the second one where the woman put the sweater on, and he got confused thinking that that's the mother.
Yeah.
What was the necklace was like the mother's, right? So she wore the necklace, so he thought it was the mother.
Makes
That's
sense.
basically it. That's basically it.
But I mean, Jason, yeah, he's developmentally stunted. So yeah, I mean, like when you see Jason drowning in the flashback in the first film, you can clearly tell that he's got some sort of retardation going on. You know.
Well,
he's
see,
got some
wait a
issues.
minute. You touched on something big, Mike.
Yeah.
Because I had a massive problem with Jason versus Freddy.
Okay.
Okay, because he was not afraid of the water. Like He went in the water a million friggin' times, even though he drowned. The
Yeah.
whole thing with Freddy and scaring him with the water, that was a load of shit. Because even Freddy wasn't afraid of the flames after he burned. So that was crap, how he's like getting all scared, like, oh my god, I'm going to drown. How many times did he go in the water and pull somebody under?
Yeah.
Well, question: if he's not a zombie, what is he?
But he's not a fucking zombie, man.
Why
What
ask?
the fuck?
What is he?
Living
Doesn't
dead.
have to
What is
fucking explain it, but he's not a fucking
What?
zombie, though.
What is he? What is he? He's undead.
He's not undead because he has consciousness and he makes decisions.
Well, there's
The
a new
undead.
zombie television.
Conscious?
There's a new zombie television series
He
called
eats.
iZombie. Have you seen the trailer to iZombie?
You
No,
don't
but
give a
this
fuck
is
about
not-
that because it sucks. That
This is not-
zombie looks like shit. That
First of all,
zombie
The girl's kind of
fuck
cute.
that.
The girl's kind of cute. It looks funny. She's
Who
eating
gives a
brain.
shit? She's a zombie.
listen, man.
I was just trying to figure out what kind of undead person he is because he
He's
obviously
not
came back to life.
undead.
Not undead.
He's not undead. He's not a zombie. He eats food, rats or whatever in that little hut that he had.
Can we take Chris? Can we take Chris to Crystal Lake and dump him off here?
Yeah.
I'm kidding, Chris.
He's not a
right.
zombie. He's not
He's
undead.
not real, so I'd have no reason to feel.
First of all,
fear.
if he was undead, okay, in Friday the 13th Part 6, when he's watching the camp counselor talk to Nancy, the little girl, the blonde girl, and then he walks in there with the kids, he would have killed the kids in 5 seconds. Okay? He made a conscious decision not to kill the kids for some reason. Okay? So he has a consciousness. All right? Yes, he wanted to kill Corey Feldman because Corey Feldman was related to the sister he was trying to kill, and basically, you know, he was a threat to Jason. You know, like Jason saw him as a threat, gonna kill him, whatever. But he didn't want to kill all the kids in the cabin. So he made a decision as a person not to kill the children. A zombie wouldn't do that. A zombie would keep
Well,
coming
there's
after
more
you.
than one.
and eat you.
There's more than one version of Jason. You know, there's one version where he does have maggots and his flesh is all rotten.
But it doesn't matter if he has net maggots in him or not. Because the
He looks
electricity,
undead to me. He looks
he's
undead
not,
of
he's
sorts.
not undead. Man. He's
Okay.
not undead.
So
Yeah,
what was
so
he
he's-
doing? So to go with what Chris is saying, what was Jason doing in the ground in Part 6 then, if he wasn't dead?
Taking a nap. You know, makes sense. I agree with Joe.
So he's taking a nap. Okay.
He's just taking a goddamn nap.
Right.
He's
First of
not
all, he
dead.
needed the energy to revitalize himself, just like when he was under the
so-
water
so-
No, it's
twice
like
in
sounds like
the bowl.
Rick-
you have a big meal.
But wait a
It
minute.
sounds like-
To put him in
Sounds like Frankenstein.
Chris, hold on a minute, Chris. So to put him in the ground, the people who actually are the medical examiners or the coroner would have to diagnose, or they would have to rule that this person is dead.
No, they won't.
They don't want to fucking examine that motherfucker.
No, they
Just
don't.
ask the
See,
fucking
now
guy,
you're
fuck
now you're
this.
now you're,
Oh, yeah,
you're,
Mike.
like assuming things. You're adding in this information. The last that we saw, like the real Jason, he got killed in the final chapter.
Right.
He got a machete through the damn brain, slid
Right.
down on it. I don't know. Maybe I'm unaware of things, but I mean,
Yeah,
do
I
you know
think you
anyone
are,
that
Mike.
can survive that? Yeah,
I
well,
think
there you
so.
go.
Okay.
I don't
Nobody
think
can
they're well
survive it.
informed at all.
But I mean, like, see, I kind of agree with Chris a little bit for like a couple of movies, but I don't agree with the fact that now, like, Jason, they made him something, but then they kind of went back and made him human again, and he's just a killer out. It's like Michael Myers, you know?
He was
No, but
always human.
He's not human after 6.
Wow.
Because
Okay.
6, he became super strength. He kind of healed a little bit better because he got some flesh back a little bit.
It's like a
Okay,
superhero.
because even 7, 8, well, 8, I'm not 9. We're not talking about 9. But the thing is that there is some type of thing going on that I feel there's some unanswered questions. Like, in other
Yeah.
words, did the mother do something with witchcraft, thinking he was dead, cast a spell, but he wasn't dead really? Maybe she thought he drowned. He didn't drown, and he was probably mentally whatever, living in the woods. That she says that, you know, something to try to bring him back to life. He never died. When she died, then that totally screwed up whatever spell, whatever it was. And for some reason, she came back too out of the water.
Yeah.
After
You know,
he-
in all seriousness, Joe, I just want to jump in. In the novel adaptation of Part 6, they go into what happened to Jason, that he actually lived in the woods and grew up in the woods and stuff. And so, yeah, it's actually a pretty good novelization there.
Right.
The book.
I think that something went wrong where maybe his soul was inside the mother, where she was talking for him and herself. And
Yeah.
that when the vessel was destroyed and her head was chopped off, he had to go somewhere. He went back into his body that just, was dead or whatever.
Devil.
That
Okay.
suggests undead again. That's
He's
what
not.
you're trying to-
He's not dead. Okay, because he's
Not dead.
eating. He's eating. You don't eat if you're
What's he
dead.
eating?
He's eating mice. He's eating
What's he
rats.
eating?
He's eating animals.
But zombies also eat. They eat flesh.
Did they show
Is
First
that,
of all,
is
yeah,
that
but zombies
the
eat-
definition of alive?
zombies eat mice and rats?
He did not eat human beings.
Zombies eat.
The classic
Listen,
definition.
if I have bacon and eggs, okay, I'm not a zombie, okay? You're saying I kill chickens and pigs and stuff, and I'm a zombie eating animals?
Well, the classic definition of a zombie, like I guess in horror cinema, you go back to like Bela Lugosi and White Zombie from the 30s. These are just like reanimated sorts of corpses. They just come back
Yeah,
and
but
they're
they're
like
just
walking around. They're not
He's not just
necessarily.
walking around.
I
He's
know.
running around, making decisions.
Yeah.
I want to choose this weapon. I want to choose that weapon. Maybe I'll have a utility belt in the 6th one where I start whipping out freaking screwdrivers and knives and shit instead of just searching. Because there was that one thing where he couldn't find the damn machete. And
But
he's like,
that-
screw this shit.
That goes with the classic definition of a zombie. Like, and then Romero came about and used the term ghouls, which became zombies in Dawn of the Dead, and they ate flesh. So there's
He's
kind of
not
two
a
different.
zombie.
Well, he's a zombie in the sense if
He's
been
not a
dead.
zombie in any sense.
Kind
I,
of.
Keyword.
actually, you could argue that that's not true. You know?
Listen, are you saying that he's a zombie
I'm
or
not
human
saying
misunderstood?
No. I just said I'm being serious. I'm not kidding. I mean, like if you're using the word zombie, not like in the like latest sense, the modern usage.
I'm
of
not
the
saying
term.
the modern sense.
It's so
I grew up with zombies too.
Have you
He's
seen
not a
White?
zombie.
Did you see White Zombie? Are you familiar with like pre-Romero zombies?
I don't
They're
think
just
so.
the dead. They're the dead that has come back to life. That's all a zombie is. It doesn't mean they eat flesh. It means that they have.
But they don't have a conscious thought.
Don't know what it is. Joe and Blake.
Oh,
Chris, I don't know what's
Jason's
going
on
on.
the loose.
God.
It's okay. I mean to meet you, Chris, but it's just too much of a siren. He's not a zombie. Okay,
I'm not sure.
he makes decisions. He chooses his weapons. He chooses who he's going to kill first. He plays with his victims as a human emotion. He's a sick fuck. Okay, he decides to hang the bodies and tease the victims because he knows the emotional attachment to their friends. He's a dick. Okay, and a zombie wouldn't do that. A zombie would just kill and not have a whole freaking plan. He has a plan. He plans it out in his head. I'm going to kill this one with this one. I'm going to kill this one there. I'm going to go after this one. This is how I'm going to jump the person. I'm going to jump through the window. I'm going to climb up on the ground.
Well, that's
Opportunity.
If I may interject real quick, the definition I'm getting for the word zombie is a corpse said to be revived by witchcraft, especially in certain African and Caribbean regions.
But his heart was pumping up until Jason goes to hell.
Yeah, and even modern zombies, their brain is still active. That's why you kill them by deactivating the brain by
But
like
he got
rendering it
stabbed in
not
the brain
functional.
a million times and he didn't die.
Just minor head cuts,
Some minor head cut. You had the whole machete through the head in the 4th one.
Oh,
Just-
come on.
Just a flesh wound.
Just a flesh wound. No,
He blew up and
That's what I didn't get about. Have you guys ever read Marvel Zombies, the Marvel Zombies
But that's
series. I
not
read the graphic
zombies,
novel.
man. This is not zombies, man.
Well, I mean, there was a zombie captain. Actually, and there was
I
an
know
alternate
it's an
Colonel
alternate
America. He
universe
was
where they're all zombies. I know that.
his shield gets deflected back on him, and he loses the top part of his head. But yet he's still caught and remembers things and is able to talk. It was amazing.
But that's a comic book, and that's the alternate universe where all the heroes and villains are zombies.
Yeah.
This is not. Jason's not a zombie.
Zombies can still toy with
Okay.
people. I mean, even Bub
So
in Day of the Dead, he was,
zombie.
you know.
He's not a zombie.
So
That's a
is this whole
Jedi
podcast
being
about
first
just
of all.
friends?
I think
First of
so.
all,
It's the great is Jason a zombie debate. It's just
he's not a zombie.
Well, but like John said, Bub in Day of the Dead, he had some sort of cognitive thinking process going on because he was
Big
shaping.
Daddy in Land of the Dead.
Yeah.
First of all, if he was a zombie, the fish wouldn't eat him.
If he was
He
a
has
zombie,
he has live flesh.
I-
The fish was eating his flesh.
if
The
he was
fish
a
would
zombie,
the fish would not eat him if he was a zombie.
So you're saying fish don't eat off of dead corpses?
Well, that's not true because they do. I don't know. I'm just saying that he's not a zombie.
Well, you know, like there have been people who have been murdered and dumped off in bodies of water, and the fish, I'm sure, in the local animal life.
Right.
He's
I know.
from the
Take off
flesh.
the thing, but he's not a zombie, man. He's not.
I think you're hung up on this whole thing about zombies like being flesh eaters, and
But
that's
look at Jason. Look at Jason versus Freddy. He has emotions. He's scared of the water. What the hell?
What kind of
That's
zombies?
not a zombie.
In Marvel Zombies, they had
Oh my
emotion.
God. He's not a fucking zombie, man.
well, technically, Freddy Krueger is a phantom. He's not actually a existing like being or a zombie.
He's not in the material world. He's only in the dream world.
He's in the astral plane or whatever the hell you call it, whatever the hell.
Yeah, well, he's a phantom.
Right. But again, he's not a zombie. Jason's not a zombie.
Okay.
I kind of like I like the premise of what they did with Freddy versus Jason, but I didn't like how they executed it.
No, I don't like it.
I like,
my eyes, Jason won anyway, but okay.
and
Well,
that was really
technically-
cool. Go ahead.
Technically, Freddy was his head was still animated, so
That's because there's a time limit. There's a time limit when he's out that he could revert back to dream form. But
And I think that's
technically,
what he's
Jason
doing.
won.
Which
Jason
I
won
think-
technically.
Yeah.
So what about Michael Myers? Is he like is he
Well,
dead?
He's not. He's just evil.
Yeah, because like I always saw Michael Myers like as a force of nature, so to speak.
Yeah, Michael
Like,
Myers just has no compassion. He'll kill anything. He doesn't let anybody live.
You just contradicted yourself. You said that he had morals, that he didn't kill children.
I'm not talking about. I'm talking about
That was
Michael
Jason.
Myers.
That's
Oh,
Jason.
Michael Myers. Okay.
Michael
I'm
Myers
getting all-
killed. Michael
getting
Myers
all-
killed anything.
Oh.
We went. Okay.
He's been
Okay.
way too.
So now we're talking about Halloween. Okay. Got it.
Well, it just for that instant, the reference.
well, Michael killed the dog in the first Halloween.
Well, Jason
Well,
killed the dog too. Jason killed the dog. Of course he did.
Did Freddy ever kill a dog? I don't think so.
He's pet friendly, I guess.
I don't even.
We
He
like
killed
pets.
hamsters. No, he's not pet friendly. When he was a kid, he chopped up all the pets. What are you talking about?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Imagine, yeah, he could get a pet in his dream world, though. I bet Freddy would like a pet in his dream world, just like a Shih Tzu, hang out
Well,
with, between
the
his skills.
thing that we need to figure out is that what direction are they going in the movies and the TV show?
The right
Well,
direction.
I think Freddy would do good with like a koala bear. He'd have it on his shoulder.
Oh yeah, yeah.
In all seriousness, like my one reservation is, again, it's on the CW, and like when I see CW involved in something, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be shit.
That's like Aliens vs. Predator when it was rated PG-13. Who cares about that? Or Beverly Hills Cop when it's rated PG-13. Or like any time that they change going from rated R to PG-13, it's crap.
I like it. I don't care. All you guys are wrong.
Okay.
Well, Jason Goes to Hell and Jason X, those two are they really just fucking suck.
Oh yeah.
No, Jason Goes to Hell even more than Jason X, because at least I liked it somewhat. Jason X, but Jason 9 Jason Goes to Hell was totally against all my principles. I mean, I can't see him possessing like a spirit demon possessing people. That's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, that went nuts.
That was just, no. He's eating a heart. I'm like, no, this is not.
Yeah,
he's eating the heart. He's eating the heart.
Everybody's Jason. All of a sudden, your neighbor.
And they're eating hearts.
Though it did have a good nude scene. It had probably the best nudes, the best.
Yeah, but go back to, because I haven't seen that movie. Go back to eating of the hearts. So Jason eats hearts in that movie.
In Jason Goes to Hell, he eats. The guy eats a heart. That's Jason's heart.
And he gets possessed.
And he becomes Jason.
Oh, okay. What prompted him to eat Jason's heart? He wanted to become Jason?
I guess Jason's spirit called out from the heart. I don't know. Which made no sense.
But Jason, once he became Jason, he didn't eat any other hearts.
No, he's not a zombie cannibal. No.
There was a lot of body hopping. It reminded me of like Tobe Hooper's Life Force, actually, a little bit vaguely, when it was, Matilda May body hops and stuff,
What about the hint?
Like
the hint? Oh yeah, definitely. Like another New Line film.
Yeah.
Coincidence?
It sounds like Jason Goes to Hell. It sounds like there was a lot of heart in that one.
Yeah, it was actually.
Heart and soul.
Yeah, although I didn't agree with. I don't know what they were talking about, because if they're talking about an ancient blade from the 1800s that only could kill Jason, that means that Jason was in the 1800s. So I really don't understand what that was about.
Evil is eternal.
I think they were grasping there.
I would like to understand why there was a blade from the 1800s that would kill Jason Voorhees if he was not alive in 1800.
There was a blade from the 1800s because Sean Cunningham had a couple kids and he needed to get them a job, so they made this film together.
I think they're trying to say that Jason's a time traveler. That's what I think they're trying to say.
Well, no, it could be just a mystical. It could be just a holy object that would kill anything that's evil.
I think that when Steve Jobs became a Cyberman, there was like a mystical iPad that Jason just took.
No, it could be a prequel. It could be a prequel to the Apple Revolution.
Right.
The Apple 1984 commercial. You could have Jason was in the audience. He was one of those people, watching.
So is Steve Jobs a zombie in the Nethersphere? Is that what you're saying?
Well, technically he is.
He's a zombie.
Cyberman zombie.
He's not a zombie.
Is he a zombie? You're telling me that Cybermen are zombies now.
He's Cyberman zombie.
Cybermen are zombies. That's what you're saying?
Hold on. They mentioned him by name. He was uploaded. And in all seriousness, they mentioned him by name. Right. And he said that he was in the Nethersphere. So when all the personalities got downloaded, somewhere there was a Cyberman with Steve Jobs' personality in it.
And he's a zombie, you're saying?
Yeah, and he's a zombie Cyberman.
He's a Cyberman.
He has the expertise to upgrade his own hardware.
But Cybermen are machines. So how could you have a zombie?
Yeah, I mean well, they're machines, but they can be upgraded with Apple technology, and then he can mount an iPhone and he can put it on vibrate.
Yeah, but how could zombies do that? If they're reanimated corpses, how could you have a reanimated corpse?
Well, they're reanimated corpses, but there's different system. Well, it's a cyborg zombie. It's a cyborg zombie.
So was he doing Lotus?
The Lotus. He's doing the Lotus position.
For Commodore 64?
Because Steve Jobs is all about Eastern philosophy.
Yeah, but if he's a zombie, he can't operate a computer, though.
You imagine Well, no, but he's a cyborg zombie, so
Yeah,
that
but it doesn't
makes
matter
it
though.
intelligent.
Like you can't have the dead and you have technology. That just doesn't.
Yeah, you can.
So
How? You see, which RoboCop now?
Well, no, I mean just like you did with what's his name? I'm really bad with Doctor Who character names. The one guy that was Claire's boyfriend that came back to life.
Danny
He was
Pink?
like undead.
Danny Pink was a zombie. He was
Yeah,
undead.
Danny Pink. He was a zombie and a Cyberman all at once,
And he was undead.
and he was
So
undead.
He was not undead. He was not a zombie.
Well, he was a zombie cyborg.
Well, the technology would not be able to
I have
connect to dead tissue. Though.
Well, I had an idea.
Because if that's the case, then in Pandorica, the skeleton was ejected from the Cyberman.
I had an
inside
idea.
Pandorica, and it tried to take Amy Pond,
Technologically
who
possible.
was a living host. Amy Pond was the living host that the Cyberman wanted to take. So obviously, the Cyberman needs a living host and not a zombie.
Well, it's technologically possible to.
It's
make,
not technologically possible to have
Well, no, I'll tell
Cyberman
you
take
how.
apart a dead living tissue.
Yeah, it is. I'll tell you how.
No, because then
Anyhow,
the
it's actually-
skeleton in the Pandorica would have been sufficient, and it wouldn't have had to take Amy Pond as her life force to operate the Cybermen. Just like it wouldn't in the next doc, it
You're
would
talking
have had to have. Yeah, it wanted a live host.
Well, if you look at Danny Pink, he was obviously undead and
He
a
was not
Cyberman all at
undead,
once.
actually. His consciousness was uploaded into the Nethersphere.
But you can be conscious. You could be a conscious undead person.
No, you can't.
Yeah, you can.
No, he was
There's different
uploaded
types of
back
zombies.
into his body. And he was
Really
told-
don't like.
No, I love zombies, actually. The Walkers and everything, Walking Dead and George Romero, I absolutely love that stuff. But
It's all fantasy. It's all
Cybermen are
fantasy.
not zombies.
There's
So
different types of zombies.
So is the Jason in the TV series, is he going to have like a cell phone and his own like Facebook page and Twitter account and all that?
No, it's going
Yeah.
to be Jason Voorhees with a hockey mask,
That's gonna be
killing
awesome.
people.
I think he should have a Twitter, like where he can update
Yeah.
his kill status.
Well, I think they should have, like, Leatherface go to high school and just... Oh, wait, that's not...
No, we're
Technically,
already going to have that from
Wow.
what we talked about a couple
he
of
technically
podcasts.
he technically could update his kill status on his Twitter because then Twitter would suspend his account. Twitter's done things like that in the past.
Yeah, Jason's Facebook relationship status is going to be it's complicated, right?
Yeah, he's going to be as vague as possible. He's not going to literally. He'll have a Facebook and a Twitter, but he won't talk in detail about what he's doing. He might use metaphors, but he's not going to be literal about it.
They could have him
Yeah.
They could have him like snap a picture and like post it on Facebook and like have it pinpointed like Crystal Lake, you know, like a body like wrap around a tree and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, repost this if you think this is a cool kill, guys. You know, modernize Jason, you know.
Well, the theme here is horror movies and horror theme, right? This is the theme of this podcast.
This is the horror cast.
Okay. Well, I mean, Thriller is like a horror music video, right?
Well, we're not doing music videos. Like, we're doing...
Oh, okay. I had an idea for directing Thriller too, but...
Yeah, well, he's dead, and he's not even a zombie either. He's just dead.
Well, there's a way to bring him through technology.
Yeah, but technically Michael Jackson came back in that video as a zombie in Thriller.
That's true.
That's true.
Yeah.
He did come back as a zombie.
Well, I was just saying, what if you took like a human corpse, and you could, the dinosaur animatronics, how it looks so lifelike and moving around, and you mounted a human corpse with animatronics, you would have an animatronic zombie. Perfect combination of cyborg technology and zombie technology, and you could make zombies real. It'd be very hard to patent. Very hard to patent that. I would love to patent that, but it'd be very hard to patent that technology.
Kind of creepy.
And I don't know if it'd be a practical application. Although it could be a practical application. You can have soldiers with like an exoskeleton.
You mean like Universal
And like
Soldier?
when the soldier dies, the exoskeleton can take.
Universal Soldier?
I haven't
Yeah,
seen
like-
Universal.
Wasn't Universal Soldier like zombies?
Well,
They were,
They
yeah.
they had
They're
actually.
really-
I think I saw part of it on HBO, but I never saw the whole movie.
Shame on you.
Yeah,
Shame
Universal
on you.
Soldier. I know, shame on me.
That's right.
Universal Soldier. They
It
had
was
like
zombies.
implants.
It was zombies.
Well, they had implants, and
They
they
were
were
zombies.
kept
They actually
alive.
were.
They actually were zombies.
Well, they were kept
They
alive
were
for
bottom bag in the
technology.
beginning.
They were zombies.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
They were
but
zombies.
they were technological zombies. Yeah,
yeah.
I think it's a fascinating premise. And another way was, you know how like you would need some kind of, you could do it without animatronics too. You could have a different type of zombie. It would take years of study to perfect, but you could use chemicals to fight
So why
off
don't you-
rigor
why
mortis.
don't- why don't you just have a robot
You could.
Well, let's
instead of a
hold on.
zombie then?
let's not forget also in Return of the Living Dead, those zombies were capable of like cognitive thinking, and
Correct.
remember they got on the
Walking.
ambulance and they like send more paramedics, and
Right.
they were
And-
able to figure and talk.
Right, and then in
Well,
Land of the Dead, I think it was with George Romero, the one zombie became smarter.
Big Daddy, like John mentioned earlier. Yeah.
Big Daddy.
I just want to see Michael Jackson
He was
as
a zombie
animatronic
leader.
zombie. I just want to see Michael Jackson as an animatronic zombie in Thriller 2, and this time he'd really be a zombie.
Why are you
he-
fascinated with Michael Jackson?
Because he,
Now that
because
he's
he
dead.
I don't know. I just think it's funny.
I see.
All right.
Rock on.
I can't wait to read the comments on this podcast, by the way.
Right. Do you, Chris, do you want to be a zombie?
No, I don't want to be a zombie.
Why?
I wouldn't mind being a cyborg though. It'd be
But
cool.
why
to be a
don't
cyborg.
you be a zombie that's in a cyborg?
Well, I mean, I could as long as I remain cognitive thought and
But you
relative
can't be
intelligence.
cognitive if you're a zombie.
Yeah, you can. There's
Yeah.
different types of zombies, man. That's why I keep trying to tell you.
So the
There's
machine would be keeping you alive, but then if you're alive, you're not a zombie.
Just like Doctor Who. Just like Doctor Who with the Cybermen. The
We
machine
don't
kept the
have
person.
we don't have zombies in Doctor Who though.
Well, I disagree with your definition of zombie.
Okay, well Doctor
Well,
Who's
no,
definition of zombie.
Actually, what about the Borg in Star Trek? Are they technically zombies?
They're technically zombies.
They're not
There was
zombies.
an episode.
They're
Yeah,
not
well, no, the
zombies.
Borg. They're actually. Hold on. Let me explain something. There was an episode
Captain
of Voyager.
Jean-Luc Picard was alive. His life signs were still there, even though they were faint. And when he was separated from the Hive Collective, he was still Captain Jean-Luc Picard.
Have you seen all of the Borg episodes though?
Yes, I actually have, actually.
Okay, there was an episode of Voyager where they came across a cube that was mostly destroyed, and most of the Borg were dead, but they had a backup system where their mechanical parts would reactivate and reanimate like they were zombies, even though technically these Borg were already dead. So by that definition, yeah, they were zombies. Borg could be zombies and they could be living cyborgs, but they could technically be both, depending on how they were reconfigured. That's my favorite Star Trek villain, by the way, the Borg.
Me too.
Yeah.
Next to Khan himself, but
I like the Borg even better than Khan.
But they
But I
kind
like
of
Khan,
like,
now don't get me wrong.
yeah, but in Voyager, didn't they kind of like wuss the Borg down where they weren't really
yes,
like
they did.
that?
Yes, they did.
There were some Voyager episodes I didn't really care for that made the Borg kind of cheesy, where like they did that, where like there was that one episode where Janeway and Tuvok went undercover and they purposely got assimilated, but then they had some backup technology where they were able to maintain their cognitive thought and personalities. I thought that was incredibly unrealistic based on the mythology they had already built up. And then like Tuvok started becoming reassimilated again and betraying them. And I just thought that episode was really cheesy. There were some really bad Voyager episodes involving the
And in
Borg,
the end,
but there were some really good. There were some
Janeway
really good
killed
ones
the Borg.
though. Well,
She killed the Borg.
she sort of did. She didn't
She
kill them
killed
off
the Borg unless
completely.
they're not connected to the Hive consciousness. Like Lore.
Well,
Not Lore.
I'm
What's that guy's name? You Borg. Was not connected to the Hive
Well,
consciousness.
I'm kind of hoping because there's an unproduced script from what was supposed to be the fifth season of Star Trek Enterprise, and I know the storyline, and it would have been awesome. Technically, the Borg weren't totally killed off, because with like anything
If
involving
you're
time
trying to
travel,
say that they wound up in Enterprise, where they battled Archer,
yeah,
that was technically supposed to be an alternate timeline.
But time is non-linear.
Because they said that after the events of First Contact, that was technically, and they tried to make it like Enterprise was not in the same timeline.
Well, in the fifth season, what would have been the fifth season of Enterprise? It would have been so awesome. There was going to be a part 2 to the Borg episode, and they were even going to have Whoopi Goldberg. They were going to explain her.
They had Data's brother Lore took control of the Borg in Descent.
Yeah, no, I remember that one. That was a really awesome episode, 2-part episode. But the thing is they actually had.
They had rumors that Kirk was going to be Borg, and they found him and everything.
Well, I was just going to say, what would have been the fifth season, because they actually finished the script because they thought there was going to be a fifth season, but then it got canceled at the last minute. So they had written a script and they never got around to producing it. But basically, there was going to be a time paradox, basically where there was more Borg drones in Antarctica that had remained frozen, and there was a Starfleet medical nurse, played by the same actress who played the Borg Queen, who was actually becomes the Borg Queen. She gets infected with nanobots in the fifth season of Enterprise, and she becomes the Borg Queen, and it becomes a time or an infinity loop paradox, because it's like, what happened first, the chicken or the egg? If the Borg Queen was really Starfleet Medical, then why did she come from another planet? But then she came from Starfleet Medical, and it was going to deal with this a Borg timeline, Whoopi Goldberg, Guinan's background, and time infinity loop. And
well, Guinan's race can detect time distortions.
Yeah, no, and it would have tied in with that. That would have been such an awesome episode. I'm really hoping that Star Trek 3 bombs really bad, and then somebody gets enough common sense to kill that timeline and just go back to the next generation.
We could do that. Let's get back to basics. We could do.
Sorry.
Jason needs to be a Borg. Needs to be into the.
It was related. It was related because we're talking about the Borg and zombies.
Yeah, I know. And Jason.
Well, Jason's not a zombie, but yeah.
Well, neither the Borg. So.
Right. Thank you.
There you go.
So there you go. All right. On that note.
Technically, Jason actually is a zombie, though, in some of those.
No, he's not, Mike.
No, not at all,
No,
Mike. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah,
No, he's not.
And I'm sorry, but just because you say you're sorry and somebody's wrong without, like...
No, there's no way in hell that Jason's a zombie. All right?
And why...
Just want to put it out there.
Well, what is your definition of a zombie?
Well, now, are you asking me my definition based on every single zombie thing I've ever seen, period, or stuff that I haven't seen?
Well, that's the point. I'm saying, like, there's different definitions for a zombie that we use in our modern culture as opposed to, like, maybe the culture we had previously.
He's not a zombie. Jason Voorhees had flesh. Jason Voorhees ate. Jason Voorhees made decisions. Jason Voorhees had feelings, human feelings. He's not a zombie.
Well, so did Bob in Day of the Dead, and he was a zombie, so there you go.
Did he eat on camera? Did he eat on camera?
Yeah, but he didn't come back after he was blown to bits, did he?
Well, you said he ate. Did you see him eat on camera?
No, we didn't see Jason eat on camera. We saw like a leftover mouse or something in the cabin.
But did you see him?
You know, I'm sorry, but Jason was a zombie in a couple of installments in that series. I mean, there's no doubt about it.
Okay. There are ugly people in this world. Okay, you know, they're just not attractive in this world. They look like butt ugly, dog-faced people. Okay, but they're human beings.
Yeah, and there are people that live in coffins, and they just like to rest. They like to rest.
People that don't take a shower for like 20 years, and then when they finally clean themselves, it's like ridiculous. Okay, just because he looks like shit.
Coffins are very uncomfortable to sleep in. They're also very friendly.
Maybe you should try it.
Well, Well, if somebody's been alive and they've taken a machete to their head, it's gone through like about a third or half of their head at least, and they've like
Yeah,
slid
I
down
think
on the
He had
machete.
that
And
head.
Mike, I
And
think you're stereotyping him.
when
I think
you've
you're being
had,
unfair.
when you've had the, and I'm being serious, when you've had
I don't
like
think
the-
you're being fair with Jason Voorhees. I think
when
you're
you've had-
stereotyping him.
when you had the medical examiner, they had him on a slab in the final chapter and
No,
put him on the slab.
no, the guy that had him on a slab was
See,
watching
it's
people's
slab.
asses on the screen. Okay?
But they wouldn't
the
have
guy
had
was
him.
trying.
They would not. Hey, let me ask you a question.
The guy was looking to get laid.
Let me ask you a question.
The medical examiner.
Let me ask you a question. Who gets sent to the morgue? Live people or dead people?
Well,
It's
sometimes
pretty simple.
people. Well, he didn't die though. He came back to life. Then he woke up. People wake up in the morgue sometimes.
Yeah, they're called zombies.
No, in real life.
If we're dead and they come back to life, they're fucking zombies.
No, in real life, people wake up
You
in the
end up-
morgue sometimes.
Live people don't fucking go to the morgue. You know?
But sometimes doctors make a mistake. They're really bad doctors.
Okay.
This
You know,
guy
it's
was.
subjective.
Back in
Listen,
the day, they
this
used to have-
guy wanted his poontang pie. You
But
watch it.
those people, but I would challenge you to show me any of those people that have been unfairly deemed as being deceased, take machetes to half their face and get
Right.
like shot, chainsaws through their gut, everything else. I mean,
Well, thank God
they're
that doesn't
fucking
happen in
dead.
reality. Well, thank God this is not reality. This is a TV.
they're dead.
fantasy.
They get up and kill. The people they kill get up and kill.
But Jason's
Well,
not a
no,
zombie.
no.
though.
No, that's wrong.
He's not a zombie, dude. What the hell?
I think he is.
Well,
I
I'm
think
telling
he
you,
is.
he's a zombie. I'm not being.
He's
I'm not
not a
joking
zombie.
around.
Dude, I'm not playing.
And I'm not playing either, man. I'm coming at you. There's a couple.
I'm playing.
In a couple of those movies,
Listen,
in a
listen,
couple of those
don't-
films, he's a zombie.
Listen, don't
And this
sing
show.
it. No, he's not a zombie.
In a couple of those films, he's
Listen.
fucking dead. He's come back
He's
to
not
life.
dead, man. He's not dead. You just don't like the way he looks.
Are you looking at fucking? Have you seen Friday the 13th Part 6? That
I've
motherfucker's
seen
dead.
them. Listen,
His rib
and he
cage
woke up.
exposed.
He
How many
spent
people?
like a
Listen.
decade underneath Camp Crystal
Listen.
Lake,
Listen,
You know?
for some reason,
chained
the
to a rock.
lightning,
He's
the
got
lightning,
maggots.
Frankenstein.
He's got maggots falling out of his eye socket.
So you're
and
saying
his
Frankenstein-
ribs
Chained to
are-
a rock
He's like
underwater
Frankenstein's
for a
monster.
decade.
like Frankenstein's monster. Frankenstein wasn't a zombie.
Yeah, he was.
He was, yeah.
He was
Wow.
reanimated from the dead. That's a fucking zombie.
Well, maybe Frankenstein was a zombie, but Jason Voorhees was not a zombie.
For a period of time in that series, Jason I would agree with you, was not classified technically as a zombie. Okay, and I'm going
Okay.
with the definition of a non-flesh eating zombie, by the way, which is still a zombie nonetheless.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're saying
I
that
got
he became a
this place is
zombie
shutting down.
six.
Place shutting down in 3 minutes. I got 3 minutes.
Well, you
Well,
got
I-
3 minutes. We got 20 minutes. So take it. No,
That's
No,
fine.
yeah, we
No,
yeah, well,
that's fine.
we got time. Let's talk about this.
Yo,
I'm going to
don't
debate
fucking.
Jason's
Let's
zombie.
go. Let's go. Because you know
Okay.
what?
Oh, yeah.
You don't. This is my shit right here, man. We'll fucking talk all fucking night.
We're gonna have a zombie on.
All fucking night. We'll talk about this shit.
That's fine. I'm as big
I'm
a fan as
fucking
you are.
ready, dude. I'm the one that nut job that watched
I'm-
7 in a row,
I'm as big a fan as you are.
and I would have fucking kept going too.
Yeah.
The
Now,
hell-
in Friday the 13th 1, his mother was the killer, so that doesn't count.
yes.
In 2, and 3, and 4, at the time of 4, it's called, see it, Chris, it's called the final chapter because they fucking kill him.
Right, and then
And
they
then
realized, oh shit! Wait. Then 4 made more
I
money
gotta
than
be
they ever
able to
fucking
finish
made
what
in
the fuck I'm
existence.
saying, Joe.
But I gotta continue. 4 made more fucking
We
money
can go back.
than they
We can
fucking
go.
dreamed of.
We can go back to that. But hold on a minute. You're interrupting my train of thought here.
I apologize, zombie.
No, it's not. It's not a big deal. I'm not dead, by the way. So, in 2, 3,
I
and
have not
4
examined you to see if you're dead or not.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
All right,
you know,
I'm just kidding. I'm just
you
kidding.
know,
Okay. Yeah.
I don't have my skin does not have a bluish tint to it, and I'm not like having maggots billowing out of my eye
Well, if
socket.
you notice, when he got electrified in 6, the maggots came out.
Yeah, because he was fucking dead.
No, because he was alive, and they said, "Oh fuck this, we don't want this shit."
He's reanimated meat in that film. Is what's going on.
Well, the maggots
So
left.
in Friday 2, 3, and 4, he you know, flesh and blood walking around like superhuman, right? We can agree on that. Okay.
Yes.
So does he die in part 4?
Yes.
Okay. So he is dead.
Dead.
Okay. Okay, he's dead.
No,
Part
dead.
5. Part 5 is much like akin to part 1, where we can
I don't give a fuck.
we can
about
we
part
can
five.
discard that film. Part
I
1 and 5.
I
does
would
have
wipe
a
my
good
ass.
Part 5. It does
What?
have that naturist nude. Ooh, that was one of the good ones.
The
No,
guy
but I
in
mean,
the toilet.
come on, I'm being serious. Like in part
So
1 and
am I.
5, part 1 and 5 we can discard, correct?
Well, you can't discard one.
No, I'm saying conversationally. Are you sticking with what I'm saying? I'm
Yeah,
saying
all right.
in
So
part
discard
1.
Five's gone.
I mean, I can keep going back to this until we get this right. But
we
I'm
are,
saying
we got it right, man.
in part one, Jason's mother was killing people, so therefore that has no bearing on what we're talking about.
Let's go.
But we do know Jason drowned. Are we going to agree with that? He drowned,
Well-
which means he died.
Well,
Or do we? Or do we?
That's
Up for debate, Mike.
She
And
thought
I
he
can agree
did.
with you. And I can agree with you on that, which would not make him a zombie because maybe he didn't actually drown. But we have to go by what the mother said and what we're shown on screen, which is Jason drowned. You know,
Yeah.
that's what she said. He's dead. You
Well,
know,
she
whatever.
thought he did,
But
whatever.
yeah, exactly. So I would actually entertain the fact that he's not a zombie there because maybe he didn't drown. Maybe
Right.
the mom wasn't familiar with
He
the fact.
just
Maybe
he just couldn't talk and was deformed.
yeah.
And he didn't want his mother to be like that.
So the way that I saw the film, starting at the beginning of this franchise, I want to go through this each film. In the first film, let's say he didn't actually drown. We only have two options. He either drowned or he didn't drown. So if he drowned and he's dead, then he did come back to life somehow, which makes him some sort of zombie because he's a reanimated version.
I don't think he drowned.
Okay, let's go with that.
Okay.
And that would make sense because at the beginning of Friday the 13th Part 2, we start out at the beginning of that movie with Jason killing the sole survivor of the first film.
Correct.
So maybe we could say, hey, you know, Jason actually didn't die. He didn't drown. He actually survived, but he was like a wild sort of like wild child that grew up like in the woods and they ate animals and all this shit. And then he just started like having these. He witnessed his mother getting beheaded, and he grew up being this feral sort of creature. So he started picking up with what he saw his mother doing with murdering these people at the camp.
Right.
So he started emulating that. So in Part 2, I would say, yeah, he's not a zombie. And then Part 3 continues from that. Okay, and we have like Jason getting all sorts of like stabs, machetes to the head, everything else, whatever. So at the end of that, you know, feasibly that supposedly Jason's dead. So they take him to the morgue in Part 4, right?
Right.
So we have to.
Well, no. 4, he's left dead, and he's in. Well, yes, I'm sorry. 3, yes, they took him to the morgue. Yes, in the beginning.
Okay. And by the way, I will have to defer to you because you've seen them just this weekend, so I may be off a little bit because I'm going on memory.
That's fine.
So from Part 3 to Part 4, we still can believe that this, you know, Jason, you know, could have had these wounds.
He was
and
never
just
examined because the guy was too busy wanting to screw the nurse.
But see, that is like someone who is on staff at the coroner's
But
office.
he never looked at him, period.
I know, but I'm saying because of the fact, see, that guy wasn't necessarily in charge of Jason's corpse. That person was just somebody working there at the time. Jason was brought in. I got the feeling Jason was brought in before all that happened, and they already deemed him dead. They put him on the slab.
The part
and
was not beating.
this guy was working the night shift.
Well, the
Because
EMT, certified that he was dead. You know.
Right.
Okay.
On the scene.
So
But technically, you could lower your heartbeat where it appears that you're dead, but you're not dead.
Yeah, Jason's a tough mother to kill. Yeah.
Jason's heartbeat was probably undetectable by their standards. But go ahead.
He needed the time to rest, take a nap,
Right. Exactly.
regroup.
I don't
But-
think his
but-
heart ever completely
but-
stopped. I think it was just
but-
undetectable.
But with you working in the medical field, is that
Oh,
something
see,
that,
now
that's Wait,
That's
hold on.
not
Let me
fair,
ask you.
man.
Yes, it is, because you work in the medical field. Let me explain. Is it your professional opinion that that would be something that they would do? Would be if there's still a heartbeat to some degree, no matter how minute, that they would send somebody to the morgue?
I cannot speak from the medical field because I'm not of an expert in the
But
medical field.
I
Maybe
mean,
that's
obviously, yeah, we're speaking like, you know.
I'm not a doctor.
I know you're
I'm
not a
not
doctor, but I'm
nurse.
saying, is it your experience that would be the case, being around the medical field, that would
I'm
be?
not. See, that's a hard thing because I'm not really around. I'm not working in a hospital. It's a totally different.
Well, let me
I
ask you.
can't even make an opinion on that.
Let me ask you then, because I can answer this, and I'm not affiliated with the medical field. Do you think, in your opinion of being just Joe,
Right.
Capriccioso, that they would send somebody to the slab in the morgue if there was still some sort of like
No.
activity in the brain, or there
No.
was a heartbeat? Okay.
Yes.
So at this
They
point,
would have to confirm that they believe that the person is dead.
okay.
There's no room for error. After a certain amount of time trying to revive the person or whatever, when they exhausted all means of reviving or bringing the person back, they call it and they make a determination that the person's dead.
Okay.
But
So
there have been cases where after people have called it, that a patient has woken up in the ambulance or a hospital. It has happened. You see it on news all the time. That because something could happen. Just like the recent story about the baby was born and died, and they said the baby's dead. That's it. And the mother was holding the baby with the father, the dead baby.
So
and it was
we
the
have,
mother's touch, and then the
okay.
baby woke up and was alive.
So let's go with that. Okay, so that's what kicks off Jason 4, Friday 4, let's say. So let's say he skirted by with like whatever, some perfect storm of
He just
events
woke up.
occurred. Some perfect storm of events occurred where like the medical professionals were wrong. Okay?
Right.
And
Happens.
okay. So let's, for argument's sake, say that this happened, as you say. So in
Right.
Friday 4, throughout this film, Jason's not really he never really died. Okay.
Right.
So by the end of Friday 4, would you say Jason actually died at the end when Tommy Jarvis like hit him in the head with the machete?
Jason
and
was dead at the end of 4.
Okay. And then in part 5, we agreed, correct, that we can disregard that because part
It
5,
sucks.
like it's its own film.
Right.
You know,
It sucks.
I like 5 on a certain level. I can appreciate the fact, just because Jason's not in it, it's still a decent film.
I hated the hockey
I'm not gonna
mask.
hate on
I
it.
hated the whole movie in general. There was some cool parts in it, but it wasn't Jason, and the guy looked scrawny and crappy, and I just was not happy with it at all. So I can't like that movie.
You didn't like the redneck guy that was like there with his mother and was like, "Mama," and, freaking
Randy
out driving around.
Quaid's brother? No, not really.
So okay,
No.
so 5, forget about 5.
Yeah, I do forget about 5. I try to erase it from my memory, but it doesn't
Okay,
work.
so tell me what happened between the end of 4 when you say that Jason actually
Well,
was
here's
dead.
the
to part
interesting thing. Here's the interesting thing this is where it becomes like mystical or whatever. Okay, the lightning. They say that lightning doesn't strike the same place twice. They always say that. This never happens. Okay, when he stabbed Jason.
Actually, by the way, that does occur.
Right.
It's because actually,
I'm gonna get to that point.
Okay.
Wait. He stabbed Jason, okay, and it was like basically created a lightning rod.
Yeah.
Okay, that the lightning was drawn into Jason. Now, the lightning wasn't something happened. It wasn't ordinary lightning. You can see the special effects that the lightning, for some weird reason, accelerated his weird-ass metabolism and actually gave him flesh, sealing up the wounds like Wolverine. Okay? That was actually happening. I mean, there was parts of him that was not there that after the second bolt basically reformed him, not completely, like where he's like a supermodel, not even remotely, because there's still parts of him that was like not. But not only did it kind of give him like a Wolverine healing factor type of thing, but it made him super strong. Okay? In that sense, that this weird thing, which I don't know how you explain it, to me, he was somehow restored back to life. Now, he's alive, he's super strong, sort of like a crack addict is pumped with drugs.
Oh, damn, you guys are still going at it. I'm on my phone waiting on the train.
Okay.
Sort of quiet. If it's too noisy, I can leave.
Well, Joe, real quick, I've got a question for you. I'm going to screen share something real quick. Could you mute Chris just for a moment? It's kind of loud there, Chris. Pardon me, but...
Oh, sorry, I can mute. Hold on, let me mute.
Yeah.
I'm going to mute it. Okay. Something happened to his body chemistry.
Okay, well let me put this in context real quick. Does that look like somebody that's alive to you right there?
No, that's completely dead.
Okay, well that looks like a zombie to me, and that's Jason Friday the 13th Part 6.
Yes, but then after the lightning, go to the other frame where you see a zoom of his face with the eye open. Because he had no eye in there. Look, go back to that for a second.
Yeah, I understand that, but
no. He didn't have any eyes.
No, I'm saying I remember watching this, and I'm saying I understand what you're saying, but I'm saying we're beginning at this point, so he has to be dead. This is not a live specimen here. So he was reanimated, regardless of how he was reanimated. It matters not. He's still a zombie. He's fucking dead right now. He's
not reanimated. The body got flesh. It grew like a fucking plant.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's
sort of like being born again.
Okay. Well, I understand that. I'm trying to get you to understand that.
No. But my point is, a zombie doesn't grow an eye back.
This happened before. Well, yeah, because what they're doing is they're actually taking a dead corpse here, and they're reanimating that corpse, which means this was a dead being that came back to life, which is the definition of a zombie.
No, but the cells are regenerating and healing the body, and it's forming eyes, and it's forming flesh around the skeletal mass. And he's alive because it's living tissue. Okay? It formed an eye. It formed another eye. It formed flesh around the fingers. He's alive.
Okay. So
I don't know how.
So before that occurred, he was dead.
Yes.
Okay. So he was a reanimated body.
No,
after
it's not that
death.
it's not that it was reanimated.
Do you understand what the term reanimated means?
Yes, I understand what the term reanimated is. But you're not talking about reanimating the body. You're talking about, here's the thing, it wasn't just reanimated. It was like he was born again. He grew his body parts back.
So you're saying technically Jesus could be a zombie then?
I'm not talking about that. We're not going into religious. We're not going into that.
Well, no, but I'm saying, like you said, you said born again. That's a religious.
I'm talking a horror movie where he gained flesh back.
So was he reanimated from whatever? He was reanimated.
The body that he had was not the body that we saw in
But I'm saying was he reanimated by the lightning strike? Was he reanimated?
He was. The term is not good for reanimated because he wasn't brought back the way he was in the coffin.
Okay, well let me give
He
you
was
the
rejuvenated.
let me give you
Yes.
let me give you the term for reanimated is to restore to life or consciousness to revive something. To
Yeah, but this is not what happened, though.
Wait, hold on a minute. To give fresh vigor to. So that
Yes,
still
bring
fits the
the
definition.
life force back, but this
He was
you don't
reanimated.
name it an eye.
So if
He was-
something's reanimated, it means it was fucking dead.
No, but he's
Yeah.
growing an eye back because he's alive.
No.
If he was a zombie, he wouldn't have any eyes, and he'd walk around like a fucking
Yes,
skeleton or
he would have
flesh.
been dead. You could have the same scenario in The Walking Dead, where feasibly they stuck something in there, and they could explain like story wise, like, well, we had a lightning rod in here, and we reanimated this corpse to where now it's reanimated.
The walkers in The Walking Dead
Something-
don't grow flesh back.
Something.
So Joe's
a zombie.
definition of a zombie has to be in the state of decrepitude. Jason is not in his.
Jason's improving. He has
Jason
long
is
hair.
rejuvenating. Hence,
He has long hair that grew back.
I think you're
Jason
splitting
Goes to
hairs,
Hell.
though. I think you're splitting hairs, Joe. It's kind of.
Jason
Yeah,
grew
he's
hair
a
back
zombie.
where it was long hair, and Jason Goes to Hell.
I hear what
He's-
you're saying,
Well, Jason-
but
No, fuck that.
I hear what you're saying, Joe, but I'm saying like it matters not anything that happens after the fact that we have Jason. He's a decomposing corpse in a grave, which means if you reanimate that corpse,
But
he
you're not
becomes a zombie.
reanimating that corpse because you're
Well,
giving
want me
him
to
more
go-
flesh. That
But-
doesn't. That's never happened. with
Okay,
any
and
other
I'll go back to reanimate.
It never
Yeah.
happened. Period. Because it's a movie. It's fake. You know what?
Right.
And you said, but you just said reanimated, which means past
But it
tense.
was. It's not. Listen,
Okay, would
not-
hold on? No, wait. No, I want to get.
It's not Evil Dead where you reanimated a skeleton. You gave him
Who cares about the
flesh.
skeleton? It's still
No.
the
His
word
heart
you
was
just-
beating.
You just
His
said
heart
he
was beating.
You just said he was reanimated, and that
No,
is and that
Said he was reanimated. I said he was rejuvenated.
okay. We're splitting hairs. Okay, well let's see rejuvenated. He was reanimated
His cells
because he was
were
dead to
healing.
restore life.
His cells were growing back. He was improving. He was getting muscle mass.
Was he
And-
dead or
and-
not?
No, not after that.
So you're saying Jason, that picture I showed a couple of minutes ago, that's
He
not
was
a fucking
dead there.
dead corpse.
He is dead there.
Okay, so he was dead, now he's alive. That
No.
makes him a fucking zombie.
No,
Thank you.
no, he's not the corpse. That corpse.
By
cannot walk
the
out
way,
of the cemetery.
by the way, I would encourage people to comment below because I think it's pretty obvious about whether Jason's a
That
zombie.
corpse did not walk out of there looking like that.
Okay,
It
so
looked a lot completely
But-
different.
that's fine.
Jason was a member of Zombie Fight Club.
All right, cool. Put yourself on mute. Thanks, man. So
Yeah, this is a serious discussion. Can't have
Yeah.
it.
yeah, we're getting hardcore here about fucking horror, man. Like, but I'm being serious. Like, and I'm
I
really
am as serious as a heart attack
I
right now.
know
I'm telling
this is a good conversation we're having because I mean we're like horror like geeks, you know. We love this shit.
Yeah.
Jason, look, my contention is Jason died. He became a zombie, and he may have been rejuvenated, but he still. You still have to
or
understand.
regenerated.
You still have to understand. He still was fucking dead. He died. All of his vital signs were gone. He was in a fucking tomb, or not a tomb. He was in a grave.
Here's
He
the
was
thing.
fucking rotting. He was dead, and then
Correct.
he started rejuvenating himself, but he
Well,
still was
I don't know
fucking
what
dead.
made him rejuvenate, but yeah, but he's not dead anymore.
That's the whole point. Is he was brought
And he's
back to
not
life
even-
from
no,
being
but
dead,
he's not
which is a zombie.
He's not reanimated because it's a completely different body grown from it has living cells that are healing.
Yeah, he was
He
reanimated.
was still,
from dead.
but he's not.
Have you seen Reanimator, the Stuart Gordon
Yes,
film?
I actually have. Actually,
Yeah,
yes.
that's a great horror film.
Yes,
in
it is actually one of my
they call
favorites.
it
Actually,
they call it Reanimator because these fucking people are dead and they get brought back to life,
Yeah.
which means they are zombies. Stuart Gordon refers to them as zombies. It's a
That's-
zombie film.
that's
So
that.
explain it. So explain to me why the director of that film refers to them as zombies if they've just been reanimated or rejuvenated.
Because they didn't gain like 100 pounds
Oh,
after
okay.
they were reanimated.
Well, Stuart Gordon says you're full of shit, Joe. So
Okay, that's fine. but none of his
reanimated
corpse.
yeah, jump in here, John, please, for a second.
Jason's a
break this
reanimated
up.
corpse. Okay. Can we say that?
Would you say that Jason was ever? Would you say that Jason was never a zombie and he just
He
was
regained 100 pounds when he put on the latex suit.
He actually gained weight and more mass in Jason Goes to
Wait,
Hell
what
in the beginning.
Yeah, he got a bronchial problem too.
What if I told you I talked to Kane Hodder and he actually told me that Jason was a zombie when he portrayed him?
Well, then he would know better than I would, wouldn't he?
Oh, well, there you go. Bam.
Booyah.
There you go.
He said when I talked to him, he said he portrayed Jason at the point where Jason became a zombie. That's what he told me.
Okay.
At the convention I went to. So, I mean, I thought I'd save that till the end just to kind of
Yeah, so you could win the argument.
Yeah. Well,
But then again, it's not the creator. Well, I wonder what the creator would say.
I would like to go with the guy that actually portrayed that character.
Cunningham?
I would think he would
Is
know
Cunningham the
more.
creator?
Yeah.
Sean Cunningham?
Sean? Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
We have to ask him.
Yeah, well, I got Kane Hodder on my side, so.
I know,
Yeah.
but that's like David Tennant saying that Rose was the girlfriend. But then what does Rusty T. Davis say?
But I agree with David Tennant, actually. We had
Yeah,
that.
so do I. Yeah, so do I. But anyway, let's get back to Horror.
I like these kids. I like these like friendly debates and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Good.
It's pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you ask me,
Uh-oh.
yeah, see, now this is where it gets weird.
All right, I'll listen. I'm going to sit back and listen.
Okay. Like I said, as far as I'm concerned, the sixth one, he was alive.
Okay.
Don't ask me to explain how he broke his collarbone and the end of six with the rotor cutting his neck bone that would keep it in place, because then he would be a zombie after that. Because he broke the bone. That's
Right, yeah.
the neck. So after that, he's a zombie.
You know what? I know. We need to ask Sharon. She would know.
No, But then again, how did the guy's father come back? The lady's father. That was just weird. That whole movie was weird.
I'm trying to think if that was in the context.
Her psychic ability brought her father back from heaven.
Yeah, but
into
but was that-
whatever. That doesn't make any sense either.
but was that like a phantom? Like a
I don't know what the fuck that was, but that was just weird.
Because see, I would agree with you that they could actually go back to like Friday when Jason's in Manhattan and actually kind of
That's what
like
you should.
they could argue away the fact that
You
wasn't
just
really
got-
Jason. It was a phantom, like of
No,
their.
no, it was Jason, but they were injected with drugs, if you remember, where they were hallucinating. So
Yes.
he just killed them and went back to Crystal Lake, basically. And it's not the first time. I mean, when he was away from Crystal Lake and Jason vs. Freddy, he found his way back home again too. So
I just like the fact that they had Jason take a vacation because I mean all that killing is gotta like be so like taxing on somebody where
you know,
it's like you gotta.
what's interesting is that, in all the movies, he's killing them, not in Crystal Lake, but in all the camps around Crystal Lake. And it isn't until 6 that he's actually killing people in Crystal Lake. If you think about it.
And really, it's only till 6 to the camp. The kids get there. Finally the kids arrive and the counselors have got something to do.
See, there was always a situation where the first one they're training.
Yeah.
The second one they're just fucking whatever. There was all this different. You never seen the kids until 6, which I like that.
Exactly. Second, third, they're training.
Right.
Fourth is just the cabin by the lake.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's always a
5.
different sheriff. There's always a different
Yeah.
guy that's, oh, you did a great job with these kids, man. You know?
Yeah.
And
Did a
it's
good
just
job
like,
with kids.
yeah, man. And then they
Yeah,
talk about the guy like the guy's rich or something. Like, he has $25,000. He just rebuilt this camp and shit.
Yeah.
And that was actually a good point I want to point out that you made about Friday Part 2, because there are quite a number of those counselors who survive because they went out to eat at the diner.
Well, that's a huge, huge plot thing.
And see, there could be like the children of those people, or one or two of them, or whatever, that could actually have heard of what occurred, and they could write that in.
They could be joking, like, thank God we went and got something to eat.
Yeah.
Like, that's and another thing is, unless they cut it, you got to remind me. In 5, there is a guy that actually kills somebody that's not Jason, that's not a copycat. He kills that kid that was eating a candy bar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you never seen him again. You don't see him get killed. You don't see him. He just goes to jail.
Yeah, there was a guy chopping wood. That was
Right, that guy could return too, because they could have something with that too.
Yeah.
He was just off.
Yeah, I mean they could, but that would be like a little bit too it's a little too specific to that one little film.
But
I think
it would this is someone that got away.
Yeah, but it would make more sense to have the thing with the Survivors of Part 2 if they wanted to keep the continuity going.
You got the Survivors of Part 2. You got Survivor of Part 3. Okay. And not only do you have Tommy Jarvis, but you got his daughter, his sister Trish, and Gordon, the dog. I mean,
Gordo.
I mean, you got plenty of survivors left. Tommy could have like kids, and that's where it starts to get a paradox, because it starts to get screwed up when they keep doing a time jump. Like we joke around with Transformers, but a time jump where Tommy puts him in the thing, and it's like jumps, like how many decades that he's under the water, and then when she puts him back in, it jumps again. But then yet, the one from the 8th one was connected with the originals, which is ridiculous.
I think that they should forget about the New Line episodes and stick with Paramount.
I basically don't count any of them.
I don't either. I bought the Blu-ray.
What I thought of for 9, in my mind, was that's Freddy Krueger having fun. Like Freddy Krueger, like making everybody bleed, like Jason, and he's just hopping bodies and everything, weird stuff. That would be Freddy, not Jason. That's where it doesn't make any sense.
I think it's easier just to forget those films were made.
I see. I don't like reboots, but I'm always one where when you start screwing around with the history and you ruin continuity, whatever.
Yes.
Then you're gonna have a problem.
But did you like the reboot of the Bond franchise with Casino Royale?
I freaking loved that.
Of course. And they rebooted that because we could sit here and go, well, how was Judi Dench M, in Casino Royale, but then get M and Die Another Day. So see, it requires some suspension of disbelief and saying, I'm going to kind of understand that this is like something new, but it's still paying homage and paying some continuity to what's come before.
See, the moment that they got the rights back in Paramount, they should go right from Jason Takes Manhattan. There is no fucking reason that they should count Jason Goes to Hell. They shouldn't even count the fucking reboot. Because I'm not happy with that. So I would just continue it where something happens. Maybe something happened in New York. And he's trapped there for fucking decades.
I mean, do we know like what the series is going to actually be comprised of? Like
The
where they're going to start with
series
things?
is basically going to mean that 1 through 8 is canon.
Okay.
Basically.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like in my mind, I'm kind
In
of
other words, the series could start off with him coming back from Manhattan.
Well, I was envisioning when I heard about this through the podcast that they were going to redo Friday the 13th or continue it, whatever
No.
word you want to use. That I was envisioning what they were going to do was something like Bates Motel, where they were going to do something where they took like the Friday the 13th from 2009, the latest one we've had, and they were going to like start and they were going to make like a series, kind of like similarly based on the concept of what went on in that film, where you're going to have Jason, where there's no like line of delineation between films. It was going to be something where they're going to kind of give you like a prologue about what happened. There was this kid that drowned, and then there was some murders that were unexplained, and people turned up dead. There's like a legend around this camp.
This is
It's like an urban
correct.
legend. And then it was going to actually continue from there. I didn't know if it's going to be something where it's like, hey, we're going to really seriously stick to canon, and this is going to take
Right.
place after Jason Goes to Manhattan.
Right. This is why I'm excited about the TV series, even though it's on the
I think
series.
Ted Bundy was helping out Jason.
Ted Bundy.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, yeah, Jason, that would have been a good wingman for Jason at some of those local pubs, to have Ted Bundy be there and, score him some ass,
This is why I'm excited about the series, because it's gonna be a direct connection to the original 8. So much so that they said they may even get the survivors from the actual movies to be in the show. Corey Feldman, they were actually planning on having a Jason versus Jarvis direct sequel from 8, where Tommy comes back into the picture. Now that's scrapped, and that may happen in the TV series.
All right, so let's get down to.
But
let's
the
talk.
one thing, wait. The
Stop.
one thing they are adding to it, though, while it is connected with the 8 movies, they are going to go back and have flashbacks every now and then to explain certain things, like why did this town believe he was cremated? He's not cremated.
Well,
There's going to be family members introduced.
I was going to say, this is the way I see the series going. I think what they're going to do is go with the premise of, like, there was a kid, he drowned, okay? There's murders that have occurred, they're unexplained, there's an urban legend going on of this Jason, and you're going to be introduced to, like, relatives, kids of, like, some of the former survivors. You're going to have some cameo appearances. You may have, like, Tommy Jarvis, a la, like, Corey Feldman or somebody portraying that character, or Tom Matthews coming in. And they're going to reference things that may have occurred in those other films, but they're not going to be picking up directly from where Jason Takes Manhattan occurred.
Right.
They're going to, like, refer to things offhanded to where it leaves it up to you to kind of go, well, they're kind of taking a wink to us longtime fans with things that occurred
He
with,
just
like,
got back from Manhattan somehow.
well, I see, but I don't see him being that direct about it. I think it's going to be more vague to where, like, people like you and I who are longtime fans, like if they mention something about Manhattan or, I forget the girl's name, the character in New Blood, but if they refer to her character and say something like,
Tina.
oh, I'm going to school with Tina, blah, 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 whatever her name is, then people like you and I would, like, recognize who they're referring to. But they're not being direct about a direct continuation about things. They're kind of like mixing it in the pot, being vague about it. So they're still respecting those other films that Paramount put out, but they're doing it in a way to where it's not a direct continuation. It's more of like peripherally referencing things, but they have a centralized plot of what's going on. And because I know for years they talked about having a Survivor series where the survivors of these Friday films are going to come back, and I see them mixing that in. But I see it's with it being the CW, they have to have these 20 actors. They're going to have young 20-something actors in it. So they're going to have these people make cameo appearances who are like their parents who survived this, and they're going to make it. They're going to make it hip.
Well, I just want to make a statement first.
Yeah.
It's not official that it's on the CW. They're in talks. It could wind up on AMC, on the Walking Dead station.
Well, and that's great because I thought from what we were talking about that you're saying that it's solid. It's on the CW.
It's not solid about the CW. It's negotiations, but I tend to think that the way to go is it to be with the Walking Dead station, same station, because then at
AMC?
least, yeah, because then you could push the boundaries of the gore.
I agree with you, yes, on that, absolutely.
And I think that would be beneficial for them to do that, because what do they have? Better Call Saul, Walking Dead. They don't even have Bates Motel. Who's Bates Motel? Is something else, right?
That's A&E.
Right. So I think they're going to grab it, honestly.
I think my hope for the Friday the 13th television series, and it just occurred to me, is I really hope that whoever produces it, whatever studio, whatever television studio channel gets it, that they realize what we want to see is like a slasher film. We want to see a horror movie. We don't want the bullshit. We don't want CW. We don't want 90210. We don't want Bates Motel. We want a horror film, whatever that entails, okay?
See, where Bates Motel made it beneficial.
I understand, but that's Bates Motel.
I hope Disney Studios takes it over. They could make it a PG version.
No. I don't care if it's PG. I don't care.
I don't want it PG. I want
it doesn't
to
matter.
Be Walking Dead type stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Let's do Walking Dead. That type of level of stuff.
Do you realize, right? If AMC gets Friday the 13th, do you freaking realize how monumentally popular this shit would be? It would basically change the status quo of horror movies, because if this shit hits AMC and it gets the viewership like The Walking Dead, and this is on for years, you will see everything get triple sequels. You will see Saw come back. You will see all this crap come back. Good stuff, bad stuff, everything.
Yeah, and you know what?
Pandora's box, everything will return. Friday the 13th will have sequels every friggin' year like it used to.
To add to what you're saying, horror for like a number of years now has been looking for like a proper resurgence.
Right.
And maybe television is it. Because like The Walking Dead, we've seen now like zombies were relegated to like George Romero, like these taboo sorts of films at the time. Now they're mainstream. Like Walking Dead's like one of the most popular shows, if not the most popular show right now on television.
Right.
And
I can guarantee you.
Like my parents watch Walking Dead. When I grew up watching like Dawn of the Dead and Day of the Dead, Return of the Living Dead, my mom, my dad would kid around about, those gory films and all that, but I got my mom hooked on watching Walking Dead, and my stepfather started watching it, and it was just because of them, I was like, hey, you ought to check this out, and it sometimes when I was around them, I'd be watching it like on a Sunday if I was over visiting them at their place and stuff. I'd have it on there watching it, and they were like, wow, this is kind of interesting. And they got hooked on like the story because they realized, and I don't want to shit on Bates Motel because I've actually become.
I love Bates Motel.
Joe's turned me on to Bates Motel, and it's actually a very adequate prequel to Psycho.
Fantastic. It's even better in some cases.
And if they do this right, then we can see a proper resurgence of horror through TV, actually, rather than movies.
I'm going to take it one step further.
You got it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we're already seeing a resurgence. We've got The Walking Dead, Bates Motel, American Horror Story,
Yeah, but that's
Friday
nothing.
the 13th coming on.
But that's nothing.
Jamie Lee
I'm
Curtis.
going to tell you right now. Friday the 13th goes on AMC, right? Friday the 13th blows it out of the park. That's phenomenal. There will be a Halloween series immediately after on TV the following year. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
Scream does good. Forget it. The next big thing would be you'll see triple horror movies out there.
And Evil Dead. That's coming on, too.
Oh, yeah. Forgot that.
That does phenomenal. They'll go back in the theaters. They'll make a movie of it.
Yeah.
But see, what the only problem with that is, with the situation with the Evil Dead,
Jesus.
I'm like
Chris was in heaven.
Why the fuck are you doing a half-hour episode?
Yeah.
See, I honestly tend to believe that that's going to hurt the show immensely. You can't do a half-hour fucking Evil Dead. I don't think it's going to work. This is not Sarah Jane Adventures. I mean, a half-hour is ridiculous. We have stuff like Game of Thrones, 10 episodes, Bates Motel, 10 episodes, hour.
Well, see, like in the zombie genre, to me, being a horror fan for years, what's interesting to see is for years we've had shitty zombie films that have come direct to video or even in the theater for many years, and then Walking Dead comes along and serializes a series about this, and they're successful. And so successful, they're the biggest show on right now. So right now, I think that maybe focusing, I think they're onto something with going to TV and serializing things, but they have to pick the right franchise.
Right. Not everything can go on TV, right? Which I honestly feel there are going to be some winners and there's going to be some losers. I think that the Scream thing is crap. Especially that they can't use the original mask. I think that new mask sucks, and they're gonna make it different from the it's gonna be detached from what we actually see, and I think that may fail. As far as Evil Dead goes, as much as I'm a massive, Ash fan, I think it will make or break that half hour. And I think that if it's not as successful, the following friggin' year, it will be an hour episode. They'll fix it. I feel that, Halloween, we got this new movie now called Halloween Recalibration, which supposedly is the weirdest freaking thing I've ever seen.
Terrible title.
It counts all the Halloween movies somehow. I don't know how. As well as Rob Zombie, which is confusing as hell. So, with that, you should have Halloween 1, Halloween 2, no Halloween 3, Halloween 4, Halloween 5, no Halloween 6, no Halloween H2O, none of anything else. And just continue on from 5 somehow, or whatever.
Well, you know what would make a good series on television, like on AMC or something like that, would be Phantasm. But the problem is they would need Angus Scrimm to be the tall man. But see, that series actually could sustain as a television series.
That could, but the thing is, it's been too far between movies that it lost its audience half the times.
Yeah, but I mean, the thing is, you could reintroduce people that could work for them. Actually,
See, the problem with that is, right? They say a new movie's coming. 2 years passed, 4 years passed, 5 years passed, 10 years passed. They put out a movie. Another movie's coming. Then 15 years pass, right?
Yeah.
People don't believe it anymore that it's happening. You need some consistency with the Phantasm. After
I mean,
this movie comes out, what they should immediately do is a series after this movie on TV, not even 6 months after.
Yeah, because like Phantasm, it's so surreal and it's wide open to
That's a
having like a
CW.
series.
That's a CW that they could do. You could do a CW like that for Phantasm.
I mean,
what-
they could, but
they could.
I don't know if I'd want to see CW, but I mean,
They could do a CW. That's not like that could work. PG-13 or whatever. Well, same thing like a missed opportunity, like Fright Night. Back in the day, that could have been the greatest thing. And they had a fullest potential. They could have had many movies, and they screwed it up. You know, Peter Vincent, Vampire Killer, they could have kept going. Gremlins, that could have kept going. They stopped it. That's stupid. Indiana Jones, why such a gap between The Last Crusade? They should have popped one out a year after. You know? So.
they could have done Night Stalker the right way.
Yeah.
The series with Darren McGavin, they could have brought that back and done it the right way.
Right. Now they got Twilight Zone coming back with J.J. Abrams.
Are you serious
Yeah.
with that?
Yeah,
Okay.
with that. Yeah, lens flare. Yeah.
Twilight Zone with lens flare. Okay, good.
Yeah, I know. But, yeah, Friday the 13th, in closing, because we're going to close this out.
And by the way,
Fantastic episode, by the way.
yes, probably the best actually.
I think the greatest horror cast we've ever had. And it goes to show your passion for the show, my passion for Friday the 13th. You know, I mean, always. You know, I've seen them in the theaters. I mean, it's like, so.
I would challenge people to top this podcast for Friday the 13th.
I don't think it's possible.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I can't wait to see the comments.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you
Great
dislike,
job.
if you dislike this, then you're a real douchebag because we really got into
Yeah.
some good, real deep talk about this series. Yeah.
Yeah, this is going to go in history, this one. Well, thank you, bro, for a great debate.
Oh, no worries, man.
Fantastic.
It was
Thank you, John.
entertaining and a pleasure.
Yes.
All right. Can't wait for the
You're
next
all-
Friday the 13th movie.
You're all
Yeah.
doomed.
Yeah. Dudes. Take care. Bye for now.